Visionaries is proud to present its 12th season on public television.
Visionaries is produced in partnership with the Ash Institute for Democratic Governance and Innovation at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government. Visionaries is made possible in part by W.G. and Margaret Gregg, the International Transport Workers Federation Seafarers Trust, the Campion Fund. Additional funding provided by
Sometimes you read the paper and watch the news, and it seems like there's more bad news than good in the world. But you know what? It's just not true.
I at least can hold on to something, that there's something, maybe it's small, but there's something that I'm doing to make a difference.
It's just a feeling that you have. If you can help people, you have to. There's no alternative.
Every child has potential that we just can't know. And so, to my mind, that's what we're doing. We are saving potential for the future.
Here is a sobering fact. Just about every one of the people who have been given mandatory prison sentences over the past decade is going to get out of jail. None of them are on parole. That means there is no one supervising their behavior. It also means no one is helping them find a place to live, land a job, or helping them address the kind of social and psychological problems that got them into trouble in the first place. The result is that most offenders will be rearrested. The folks in the Allegheny County Department of Human Services in Pittsburgh wondered what would happen if you stepped in and provided these services. The results will astound you. To begin with, the recidivism rate dropped by 70%.
When I was 21 years old, I started as one of the first female correctional officers in Camp Hill State Prison. It's a prison in Pennsylvania. And one of the most haunting memories that I still have was when an inmate with mental illness was told that it was his time to leave and that he had maxed out or reached the end of his sentence. I remember the officers would come up to him and say, "Hey, tomorrow you're leaving, you're maxing out." And you could already see the anxiety building these guys. They would start pacing their cells. And then when they came to get him, I'll never forget that, four officers packed it into this guy's cell and peeled his fingers as he's screaming off of his bed, and then he gripped a hold of the cell door and held on, and they peeled finger by finger and carried him out to the main gate. And all I could think of is, what goes on that people are so terrorized to leave this hellhole and they want to stay?
Okay, well, we have a integrated human service department in Allegheny County. We serve about 20% of the population, about 250,000 people a year. And we basically do cradle to grave from the time children are born till, including to senior services. And we do everything from prevention to aftercare. This particular program deals with individuals who are in the state correctional institutions who are maxing out. They are not making parole. They've done their whole sentence. They are coming out. There is no supervision when they get out normally. The folks in this population also have mental health issues. And it's a population that has always had a very high recidivism rate.
In 1999, I received a call from a psychologist at State Correctional Institution of Pittsburgh. And he said, "Aim, I got a guy coming out. And he's got nothing, got nobody. Can you help me?"
Amy is a unique individual.
And it just I remembered that picture and I thought, this has got to be different. That's when I went to Mary Jo.
She came in with a set of skills and a commitment that I think you don't find in too many people.
And said, "Mary Jo, I want to do something. I want to get permission to go in the prisons. I want to try to lower this guy's anxiety. And I want to help this guy, come into the community."
You get a little scared. You don't know who these people are or what they're doing. The more you learn about them, the more that you see that they're no different than the people that we're serving everywhere.
But even then, what I was constantly asking her to do was very unorthodox and very different, and she always backed me.
I think the corrections population has skyrocketed, and there are no services when they're coming out. They have so many strikes against them. A lot of the legislation is very punitive, especially around felony drug convictions, where you can't get student loans, you can't get into public housing, you can't get AFDC or TANF, you can't get food stamps, and there are very punitive laws that prevent you from going to work in certain areas. People coming out with convictions, people who have made mistakes, have had issues, they're now trying to get their lives together, and we are putting every barrier in their way. They end up coming back to the community where they came from, which might have been 5, 10, 20 years ago. It's a completely different world. They don't know how to connect to services. They don't know where to go. Oftentimes they end up homeless because of that, and they end up having to commit crimes in order to survive.
What we found out is if you helped them with 3 months' rent, you helped them with 3 months of bus passes to get to and from, one, to reconnect with family if that's possible, to reconnect with friends if that's possible, and then also to make sure that they had a way of getting to their NA and AA meetings, their mental health treatment, or whatever they needed to do.
The first time I was in for 24 months. The second time I went back for 18 months. The third time, 27 months. The fourth time, maybe 30 days. The fifth time, 2 years. The sixth time, another 2 years. And, that's close to 10 years out of my life right there.
Well, we got you set up with a place to live, and we're going to hook you up with benefits temporarily until you have a job and whatever else you need to get on your feet.
Okay.
I'm going to take you around to sign up for them, too. We're here at the ferry on the other side right now, but it should be back in a minute, so
Okay.
Why don't we get some air?
The next thing was to get the people their entitlements. And we felt that a smooth transition was to keep them on their medications. But when they came back here, they had no money, most of them no family, and no connection whatsoever with this area. So one of the things that we did was try to get them quickly through the medical assistance office, and if they were so debilitated they were going to need SSI, through those things. So we got their paperwork started in the prison system so that when they came out, that was another less hassle that they had to deal with.
Got a bus pass. Get you anywhere in Allegheny County for this month.
Oh,
I'll get you
okay.
another
This
one
is
next
for
month.
the whole month of June.
For the whole
huh?
month, yep.
Oh, this is terrific.
Today we're going to go shopping. We're going to get you a new set of clothes. We're going to get all the clothes you can get for $200. We're going to go to Kmart. You can pick anything you want in the store. You don't have to wear that for the rest of your life.
I really appreciate that. I'm tired of wearing the prison clothes.
When you get to present to the world like yourself, that's a whole different level of freedom.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
If you have your own apartment and you have nice clothing and you have something to be proud about yourself for it, you're not going to go back in.
Back in 2002 is when I first found out about Allegheny County Forensics. They helped me get into a dual diagnostic drug and alcohol center called Cromisa. And that's where I first found out about it. I'm glad I'm going to Kmart and everything, because I ain't got no clothes, nothing. Only thing I have is just what I got on my back here. And I'm looking forward to seeing my girlfriend. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, good to see you.
Seeing you. All I can do is hope and pray that he stays clean and get a job, and we could do this.
Do some shopping now. Things are going good.
I got a call from the Y. And they said, Amy, you got to get over here, man. This guy ain't come out of his room in 2 days. So I go in, I'm knocking on the door. I go in, and I go, Gerald, downstairs said you haven't come out of your room in 2 days. So what's up? Are you scared? You don't want to get out of here? What's going on? Well, I was 8 in my room. But you haven't left your room. I called back to the Department of Corrections. I said, you know what? You guys didn't tell me everything about this guy. This guy isn't coming out of his room in the Y. He spent his whole time in isolation. So all they ever did was slide in bag trays and bag lunches. Right then and there, we decided I need to get in the prisons. I need to see these guys. I need to see them, 2-3 times before they come out. 1, to lower the anxiety level. 2, to tell them minute by minute what to expect, of what's going to happen to them. And 3, for them to have decision-making powers in their own life when they come out here.
Forensics stepped in while I was incarcerated. It's actually strange how it happened. It was right before count. I had broke a razor blade out of its case, and I was headed to the shower. I knew I was going to lose my children again. I just couldn't do it. So I was going to kill myself.
The only way these people are going to stay out is when you know enough about them to find out what's the hook in them. Everybody has a reason to stay out of prison, and you just got to dig deep enough to find it. Because once you do, that person's never going to go back.
No sooner than I was headed for the shower, the guard came to my room and said, "You got to go over to centralized services." So I fly over there, hysterical, and there's Karen with a big cowboy hat and a smile. And I'm like, "What's wrong with my babies?" And she was like, "I'm just here to help you. Sit down for a minute."
So we found the more hooks we got in that person, their chances of committing a new crime became less and less and less.
I never wrote her or asked them to come. I don't know who referred them, but I know that in those 15 minutes, Karen Dickman saved my life. I had had more peace of mind from the conversation I had with her and was able to deal with so many things. In that one window, I left with hope. I successfully raised 8 children now, 4 of my own and 4 friends of mine who are incarcerated children. I manage a pizza shop. I own my own home, and I haven't been home more than a year and 12 days. And I don't think I'd have been able to do any of this without them. And this is what I've accomplished.
Well, the outcomes on this program are terrific. We are running about a 10% recidivism for about 370 people that we've served so far, where the national average is 61%.
And in the last year, from 2004 to 2005, our recidivism rate was exactly 8.7%.
So we're well below the national average on this.
You're helping individuals come back to your community to be good citizens. Plus, you're saving money.
The state correctional folks have really liked it and are expanding their referrals. We're getting referrals from all of the state penitentiaries, so it's growing by leaps and bounds.
One of the biggest line item bills in the Pennsylvania budget is our Department of Corrections. And it's people going in and building more prisons. So if you're taking only $3,000 per client to come back here, instead of housing them for $26,000 to $35,000 a year, it's just a better use of money.
We made a decision to take our scarce resources and redirect them. We didn't get any kind of categorical funding. We didn't get additional funding for this. We felt that this was a need that was real important, that this was something that's worth investing in, and we took it by taking it from somewhere else. A real challenge, especially when the demand so far outweighs the supply.
Because there was somebody there that said, "You don't have to do this to yourself. You can do better. You are somebody. You can live." And that's what she gave me. And it was priceless. And there's so many other women whose situations are much worse than mine, who have set themselves on fire because there's nothing to come home to, no one there, who have killed themselves, who have hurt other people just to stay there, that this program helps make that not be a reality for. We've all paid seriously for the things that we have done. Some have learned and some haven't. But those who are willing to get help with their illnesses, those that are willing to change, this program is the difference between life and death.
You're treating somebody with respect, you're giving them hope, you're giving them an opportunity, you're giving them an ability to be self-sufficient, and I mean, what more can we try to do as a society? I mean, that's what we should be about.
It's a wonderful job. It's a wonderful job because you see people change their lives.
Within my first year at Muncie, there was a woman named Sylvia, and she was released. She was waiting to pack up and go home. And she had nothing and no one. I watched this woman cover herself in baby oil and set herself on fire and burn herself to death rather than to be free. From living on the other side of the fence, I know if given something like the forensics, it would never be the same. So many people would still be here for the better.
So you have to wonder what would happen if every community in America adopted this program. Millions of dollars would be saved, and thousands of people would not become the victims of crime. What's the downside?
This program was produced by the faculty and students of Visionaries Institute International at Chester College of New England. For more information about Visionaries, the organizations profiled, or educational opportunities, call 1-800-647-5559 or visit our website, visionaries.org. Visionaries is produced in partnership with the Ash Institute for Democratic Governance and Innovation at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government. Visionaries is made possible in part by W.G. and Margaret Gregg, the International Transport Workers Federation Seafarers Trust, the Campion Fund. Additional funding provided by